Hey guys, and welcome to ErebosGamingHD. Just training now for the next fight. Now this is in the very first gym, so this is not the best training for me. I'm not the best at this, to be honest. This is like the first time I've had a go at this for a while, so yeah, not the best score. But I'll show you when I get to use the mains bag, where it comes back and forward at you. That's the one I'm quite handy at, so that's where I'll start getting my XP. So I just wanted to show you this bit just so you can see sort of the whole growth of the character and not just the fights. So as you can see, I only got prospect there. It's not very good at all, really. Really quite crap. So hopefully we'll improve on that. So this fight might be a tad tougher than usual because that train didn't go well, but I should be able to rectify it with some athletic training. So just checking how many weeks I got left. So what I'll do is just go on athletic, and then I'll increase my endurance, and that will basically just mean that my maximum stamina level will burn off at a lower rate, so I should be able to be a little bit stronger throughout the fight and not get tired out towards the end. Can't quite remember how many rounds the first fight is. I'm pretty sure they're 3-round fights actually, so I might have been better off going with the other one. So I don't know, we'll just have to see how it goes. It shouldn't be too difficult regardless, in all fairness. So what I'll do is I'll show you throughout the fight. I'll show you the training that I did and the whole fight process. This person was chosen for me. I didn't get to schedule this fight, so I wasn't able to show you the whole schedule in the fight process, but I'll be able to show you that on the next video for certain. It's just that this fight, obviously, it just automatically gives you a fight to start off with, and you don't get much choice about it. So we'll see how this goes. Dun, 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 dun. Skills training, the bread and butter of camp, blah 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 blah. I should have known that when I was missing the bloody bag. Okay, so the whole idea that I've got for this fight, because this guy, I haven't really looked at the character that I'm against. I'm not quite sure what he offers, but I know he's not an inside brawler. I can tell you that from the off. He's an outside fighter by the looks of things, possibly even a counter puncher, but more likely outside fighter. So yeah, you know, as you say, this is on greatest of all time, and it's just dependent on the computer's AI, how much they are programmed, or how much they're set to attack and how much they're set to defend. Now, it's hardest on greatest of all time when they're very defensive. That's a very awkward match. You need a lot of patience to win those. But the fights, this guy's coming at me a little bit more than usual. I wouldn't be surprised even if he got a stun on me or something like that, because he's probably got a lot more power than I have at this point. So, you know, all I'm doing is just trying to get the point to win. I'm not trying to do anything fancy, not until I've got any decent sort of stats anyway. Just going to weaken him down and just try and get a win on points. Just pretend that it's an amateur fight. You just got to land a few punches. You can't be as crazy as in the amateurs, obviously, because you haven't got a head guard, and he'll probably put you on your back. See that swinging over the top left hand, that could have done serious damage, especially if I was higher up the ranks. You know, where people have got, you know, bigger punches and stuff. But in all honesty, this guy would probably be a lot weaker if I did have those sort of punches. So it's give and take, I suppose. And what you'll see is when I get in close, sometimes I sidestep and do the left right hook. Now that's really effective, especially if you're up against an inside fighter, when you sidestep and do them two hooks, especially if they haven't got that much stamina as well. It can really do damage. Now all I'm doing is jab straight, just keeping him on the end of the jab, keeping him at distance, just taking full advantage of the reach that I've got. And you know, I'm just hoping that carries me through the fight. I'll just have a quick sip of tea while I wait. And we're back in action. Let's go. Can't beat a good cup of tea. So let's go for it. Just jab straights. That's just the philosophy for the first fight, especially, well, any character that you're using, in all fairness, unless you've made yourself little T-Rex arms and you can't even reach them. Then, you know, assuming you've got like say a 75 or above reach, then yeah, jab straight's the way to go. I'd say around about 75 inch. But under the 75 inch, you still want to be using a lot of jabs, but you probably want to be using more jab hooks instead of jab straights. So it's give and take, I suppose. So It's more of the same. This guy's not doing much to me at the minute. I've got to watch out for them. Pardon me. I've got to watch out for them over the top left hands. That's what I've got to watch out for. And he's going for them a lot, in all honesty. He's doing them when I get close. He's even doing them when I'm not even there, which is a bit of a worry. Now you see, with this being on greatest, well, I'll just say GOAT from now on. With this being on GOAT, you can see that they're a lot more aware of their sort of current stats, like not their overall stats. Like they won't, like I said before, they won't jump in if they're losing a fight and it's the last round. They won't go crazy. They're not that smart. But what they do is if you what they do what they do is if their stamina's on like half, or if their health is on like half or lower, possibly even less, they'll just tie up. They'll just go into a defensive shell and you can't break through it, which is annoying, but it just means that it's a lot harder to actually knock people down on greatest of all time. So especially on legacy mode. On champion mode, I think greatest of all time is a bit silly. On champion mode, it's not really that difficult, I don't find. I think there's a big difference between champion mode and legacy mode. Obviously with the champion mode, it's as if, like, with all the handicaps that it gives you, it almost handicaps the computer as well, and it just makes it too easy. I don't know. So, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. This is legacy. It's greatest of all time. It's more difficult, and I like it. It's fun. It's probably the most fun thing this game has to offer, and I completely didn't even realise how fun it was, and I completely overlooked it. And because the computer never does anything stupid, like it doesn't sit there spamming the body, it doesn't sit there spamming the straight or whatever, and you can just have a nice relaxed fight. You can fight how you want, and it's not annoying. It's not like, you know, you haven't got people disconnecting every 5 minutes. You're not just fighting Tyson every time. You're not just fighting Ali every time. So I do prefer legacy now over multiplayer. And when you play on greatest of all time, it's like playing a good player anyway. It's like playing a good player, you know, that sort of knows what they're doing. Obviously it's not quite like that, because obviously a human is much smarter than the AI, but you know, it's the sort of the idea is there. I'm just sick of playing against Tyson, I'm sick of playing against Muhammad Ali, and I'm sick of playing against Rocky Marciano, and I'm sick of seeing Andre Bishop, and I'm sick of seeing Isaac Frost, and I'm sick of seeing those characters. I just wish people would pick other characters. So yeah, it is what it is. And this isn't a 3-round fight, this is a 6-round fight. So it was a good job I did pick that stamina one, because as you see, my stamina is much lower than his. So, you know, if this was a 10-round fight, I'd be getting a little bit worried now, and I'd be sort of holding off a bit. But I know I'm only going to last a couple more rounds, and I'm going to easily win on points, because he's missing too much, and I've hit him way too many times with the jab straight. And it's just not, he's not doing nothing. He can't handle it. They've seen them jabs, like 4 or 5 jabs to the face. You know, they're what win you the rounds, especially on legacy mode. And that sort of stuff is just great. And checking on the unofficial scorecards there, I'm up on 3, and oh my god, he stunned me. I wasn't even looking. It's just one of them flash stuns, you know, it's nothing serious. I shouldn't go down here. Just keep my block up, release the block and put your block on as they attack. Obviously much more effective when you do that. And there we go, we should be okay now, in all honesty. Can't see him landing another one. So what was I saying? Before he stunned me. Yeah, with the stamina, basically, he's got excellent stamina for the point of the fight that it is. You know, if this was like a 10-round or 12-round fight, then, as I said, you'd start getting a little bit concerned, because you're probably going to be tired coming towards the end of the fight. But it seems okay at the minute. It seems okay only purely because the fight's not far from over, and by the time I'm on 6th round, I'll probably be on about 50% with the recovery rate on the next 2 rounds. So 50% stamina, winning easily on points. You know, this guy's not going to get knocked out. I knew from the start he wasn't, because he's an outside fighter, and you just can't get close to him, especially in these early rounds. The only way I'd get to an outside fighter like this is if I catch him really early on later, when I've got like, you know, a good straight and a good jab, or if it was at the end of a 10-round fight, maybe round 9, round 10, maybe I could drop an outside fighter then. But you're not going to knock an outside fighter out in the early rounds on greatest of all time, unless you get extremely lucky, you know. You catch him with an extremely good shot. See what I mean? I'm catching him there, you know, managed to get his health down a bit, you know, could maybe do a bit more damage here. Oh, see, I needed to land that power really. If I'd landed that power, then I could have maybe got him down. But I don't think I'm knocking him out. I don't think I'll be able to knock him out. Not for stamina levels. There we go. Reciprocity. Let's do this. 2 more rounds to go. Mr. Cox. What's that cock? No, that's his Cox or cock at the minute. From where I'm sitting, it looks a bit weird. It looks like both. I don't mind. I don't care what his name is. I assume it's Cox, even though it does look a little bit like a K. But that's the font though, in all fairness. And to come to think of it, I should have called my name something Erebos instead of Erebos Gaming, because now my name just says Gaming instead of Erebos Gaming. I don't know. What can you do? Right, this guy, come on, this is so boring when you're just jabbing and straightening him into nothingness. I promise it will get more exciting as the ranks increase, as we get the title fights and all that. See how long I can stay undefeated. Place your bets in the description. The thing is, my stats will show up every single time I play, or every time I finish a fight at least, you know, you'll see my my character and his win-losses and stuff, so I can always show you that and show that you know, I haven't lost, you know, until I have lost, of course, and you'll see the loss on it. But I just don't know if there's a way you can check what the settings are whilst you're in the game. I was having a bit of a debate with somebody the other day about one of my videos not being on greatest of all time when it was, but there's no real way to prove it in the game. You know, there's absolutely no way to prove it. This is pretty obvious, it's greatest of all time, the guy's blocking like crazy, but there will be fights where I play and it'll seem really, really easy, and you'll be like, nah, that isn't on greatest of all time, when in reality it is. It's just that certain fighters have certain attributes, and if you can exploit their weaknesses, then you know, you're going to get an easy night. The thing is with outside fighters, as I said, they're very, very difficult. They're very difficult to pin down, they're very difficult to do damage on when they're moving away and being really defensive. So last round, I've got this comfortably win on points. The only way I can lose this is if I get knocked out, which in all honesty wouldn't be too far away if this was a 10-round fight. You know, I'm pretty low stamina. It's not the greatest fight in the world, but I've played it this way. I've played it so that I used a lot of energy. I've made sure that I won on points. If I was even lower on stamina at this point, then I would have just walked away. But I did say that on round 6 I'd be on around 50%. I think I'm slightly higher than 50%. I'm not far off, but I'd say I'm probably on about 55. Say 55% there. So yeah, that's I'm well happy with that. You know, it means that I'm not so low that I'm just going to get knackered halfway through the fight. It means I can still put up a bit of a fight and more than likely win this round as well. And that's all you need. As long as you get the win, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you knock them out, or as long as you win, it doesn't matter. When I play on multiplayer, I like to think that, you know, I need to knock people out because it's just more fun. But when you're playing on legacy mode, I don't really care. I'll win on points happily. I don't like to bore people into a loss, you know, because half the time if you're going to win on points, you know it. Oh, here we go. Bit of a flash done there. Can I knock him down? Look at his stamina, just look at his health flying back up. That's my bad. That's my bad there, sorry. I should have stepped back and jabbed straight at him instead of hooking him. He just regened all his health. Pretty crazy, to be honest. Pretty mad. But he's not going to win. There's no way he can win this. Even if he was to knock me down now, I'd still get up and run away for 30 seconds. Yeah, if this fight went on for slightly longer, I think, yeah, I probably would be able to knock this guy out. I'd had to maintain my stamina a little bit better early on in the fight, of course, but assuming that I did that, then yeah, this might have been doable. But 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. Right, let's see. I am 100% sure that I won that. Yeah, there we go. Won on all the judges' scorecards. Let's see where we're at now. Robbie Cox. See, you landed more punches and everything like that, you know. But it's not about that. You play the fight. You don't have to be extremely consistent over everything. You just play the fight. I needed to throw a lot of punches there, and I did. So I didn't get the knockdown your opponent by round 5, unfortunately. But you see there the win percent, KO percent hasn't gone anywhere. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.